What is up, you amazing people? It is I, Nima. It is that time of the week again. Yes, it is sale of the week time. And we got 2 games to talk about today. Well, let's say 1.5. But before we get into that, I do want to say something, a little bit of an apology. I have my 2-year-old daughter. She's sleeping, so I'm trying to be quiet while I'm recording this. Also, I am sick, apparently, and yesterday had a really bad panic attack, so I'm still shook over that, and we're just trying to get on with everything over here. But one more thing, if I could just ask you guys to please hit that like and subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. Now, enough of my blabbering, let's get on to the games. So first I'm going to start with the full game I want to talk about, and that is Graveyard Keeper. Now, Graveyard Keeper is a game that I've had for a while, and it was a game I thought I would really be into because I love Stardew Valley. And this game is sort of like Stardew Valley meets Nightmare Before Christmas. You play as a graveyard keeper and a mortician and a maintenance guy and everything in between. Now, there's a deeper story to this game, but it is marred in other stories, with the main one being that you died and you've been sent to this sort of purgatory space to fix this graveyard. Now, why? Because when the graveyard is finally up to par, the church will open, and this will allow some souls to pass on, apparently. I say apparently because I haven't really got there yet. I've been playing a ton of the game, but sort of out of all weird things, I've kind of ignored the graveyard, and that just gives you an idea of how much there is to do in this game. You know, you spend a lot of time upgrading your skills, you know, becoming better with an axe, or a gatherer, or a farmer. Doing all these other things, building things, it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of your energy. So, yeah, the graveyard it's always going to be there, you know, kind of thing, but I want to make sure that I'm leveled up enough, and then I've gone on to other little side quests. But the main thing, as I said before, is just getting back to your love, and that is a little bit of a problem for the game, because a lot of people like these type of games because there's a romance aspect to it. There's a dating sim. As far as I can say, there is not one aspect of that, because your love is still on the living earth and you're trying to get back to her. But I will say that a bunch of DLC has been added to it, and I purchased a couple of them because they're on sale as well, and I don't know if any of those have brought the romance mechanic to the game. As for the standard edition of the game, no, there is no dating sim, no romance. But that's not to say that there isn't a lot of other things to do and a lot of other abilities to make friends and things of that nature, because there is 100% of it riding on your ability to communicate and to become friends with different people who live in the village, or specifically one guide that helps you through a lot of the game, as he's just a skull. But the more you become friends with him, he helps you, and same with everyone else, including the Inquisitor, as this leads into a different storyline in the game that is also sort of tied into everything, but he's kind of the bad guy in a way. But yeah, you can become friends with the bad guy. In a manner of speaking, the bad guy. Don't want to give too much away from what I know already, but I will say this is one of those games that is probably going to be like an always play game. When you first get it, you're probably going to be addicted to it for a while, and then you'll realize, I'm just going to play a different game, and I'll visit this game for an hour or so a day, because really the runtime on this game is about 45 hours to beat the game if you just focus on the main quests. It's almost impossible to do that because you need stronger equipment, you need more resources, you need to build things to accomplish your goals, so you almost need to do all the side quests, or at least some of them, as well as just some of the other time-consuming stuff that is not really figured into the game clock, so to speak. So the average person actually beats the game in about 70 hours, and that's without the DLC. So with the DLC, who knows how long it'll take, and it could be very much like Stardew Valley, where you beat the game, but you can just keep playing and keep upgrading your little world and making everything better and more pleasant. Now, the main mechanic in this game is basically being a mortician, where you essentially take corpses that are delivered to you every day, and you can harvest the, say, important parts off them, which will actually give the corpse a negative score when you bury it. Now, to offset that, you have to decorate their grave, put a marker, maybe a little fence around the grave, and you can kind of offset that negative score, because ultimately you want a positive score. You need a positive score for the church to open again, and that is your main quest. Back to the fun part, and yes, you can harvest like the meat and sell the meat. You can harvest bones and make stuff out of it. It gets pretty morbid, but it's like lighthearted and funny at the same time. It's not in any way dark or disparaging. In fact, in many ways, this is a really good cozy game for adults and teenagers who don't want to play all of the cozy games that really appeal to children, and it gives you a little bit more of like adult edge with some humor, and there's a lot of good aspects about the game. I really like it, and I will say, performance-wise, the game does stutter every now and then, and it being a sim game, cozy game, it doesn't take anything away from it, but it is annoying at times, and it doesn't do it constantly, but maybe once or twice a day in your gameplay, it will do that, which is just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just too much going on or why it's doing that, but it does. Like I said, it will happen, but it's nothing major. I've never had it just crash on me or anything like that. The audio is fantastic, and I have to say, too, that I really like the visuals. The pixel art to me just looks great, and I think that's one of the best aspects of this game is just how well it looks. Not to mention the fact that you can literally harvest a corpse and then just throw it in the river. That can also be done, too. You can pick up Graveyard Keeper for $9.99 right now, and you have about 10 days or so to take advantage of that. It is 50% off, and the DLCs are also 50% off, meaning they're down to like $4.99, and I think the other one of them's $2.99. There's a Game of Thrones one, a Stranger Things one, and I can't remember the other one. I bought all of them, and it's funny because the other one really appealed to me, so the fact that I can't remember right now annoys me. Okay, so on to the other game. Now, this game is on a super deep discount, 90% off. It is typically $39.99, and right now it is $3.99. And that game is WRC 9. It is a racing simulator game, and it is very much a simulator. This isn't a game where you can just ride down on the accelerator and hit turns at 100 miles an hour. Trust me, because I'm that kind of racer, and I have crashed so many times. But there's a lot of customization to this game. There's also a ton of just different environments as you're racing through different areas. I really like it, but I'm just horrible at it. So I've only really gotten, I don't know, just like into the first like maybe hour of it. And I can already tell that there is a lot going on with it. Now, interesting enough though, I own this game also for the PS5. And I will say, obviously the graphics look better on the PS5 like they would. But the graphics don't look awful. Like it's definitely playable on the Nintendo Switch, especially in handheld mode. But there's some texturing issues that do happen if you look at the environment, again, as it's going to. But so much of the game, you're not really even paying attention to that stuff as you're just trying to follow the turns, get your speed right, get all of that down, because if you don't, you're just going to crash and you're going to be me. Where you're in last place all the time. But no, I think I bring this up just because there's some people who might really enjoy that style of game, and I do as well. It's just I'm not good at it. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk about that though, just because of the gigantic discount that it's on. Please let me know if you're going to pick up any of these games, if you have before, if you enjoy them. Let me know what games you're going to pick up or what games you're playing right now. Any and all comments appreciate down below. But like always, guys, I'm wishing you health, wealth, and above all, I hope you're truly happy because you make me happy. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.